But that's not the only problem for Ferrari, because there's another issue that has also come up, which is just bizarre. Welcome to another episode from Supercar Tribe. I'm Andy Rasool. Today we are at GVE in London. Let's check it out and see what they have in stock. So it's my first visit to GVE, and I've got to say they've got an amazing collection of cars. They've got some classic models, but mainly they deal in luxury, high performance and supercars themselves, and quite a unique finish on this 458 Italia, black with yellow stripes. So if it's something more like a Lamborghini that you're looking for, they've got plenty over here. Plenty of Huracans of various specs. Or if you're looking for something more classic, beautiful, beautiful white Lamborghini Countach over there. Standing next to something a lot more modern, a McLaren. But we are actually only here to see one car, and that car today is a brand new, unregistered Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Coupe. Let's check it out. So here we have it, the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, finished in a unmistakable, you're not going to miss this car on the road, that's for sure. Absolutely beautiful car in this lime green colour. Kind of reminds me of Hulk, to be honest with you. It's such a outrageous looking car, and it's, you know, it's obviously, it's had a fair amount of treatment done to the exterior of the car. This is actually a factory car, it's as in a factory spec car. And you can see the exterior is just outrageous. I mean, as if the Aventador was not outrageous to start off with. This particular version, I mean, just look at it, absolutely amazing, you know, from every angle. All right, so let's just jump inside and have a look at this thing. And this isn't the easiest car to get in and out of. You actually do fall into the car. So it's not that it's difficult to sit into, but you know, you're definitely getting down low, and you know, that's obviously a sports car thing, it's a Lamborghini thing as well. But you know, let's have a look at the inside. You know, it is absolutely beautiful. You know, I love the fact that they've got the stop-start button underneath this cover. Right, we're here on the inside of the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, and the first thing you've got to notice is this car is just, it's so different to the F50 or you know, anything like that. I mean, it's obviously a lot more modern, and you really see that. There's plenty of carbon fiber everywhere, Alcantara, you know, everywhere you look and touch. It feels really, really modern, and obviously it has a nice big screen in the center as well, which is kind of a must-do nowadays. But this is a serious performance car, and you know, it's not just a Lamborghini with a kit on it. You know, it's you know, that isn't even the start of it. I mean, everything that's on the exterior is there for a purpose. It's there for the aerodynamics, it's there for the downforce. It's really there to help the car go quicker. And on the inside, you kind of expect it to be a little bit stripped out and bare, and it is to some extent. I mean, there is no carpets in here. There's floor mats, but you know, really you can feel underneath your feet that there's no padding there. It's, you know, really just a mat on the floor. But you know, still inside, it still feels really, really special. It doesn't feel like a stripped out racer at all. So the first bit of news that we have for today is really every car person's dream come true, and that's to find a car in a barn, sat there for many years, and purchase the car and restore it. And I have to admit, I fell into that trap as well. I picked up a V12 Ferrari 400i a few years ago. Been sat in this garage. It was a bit of a barn find, and you know, I sort of got the details on the car. It was relatively low mileage, so I think it was about 40,000 miles at the time. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy this and I'm going to restore it. And I remember even taking it to show. I bought it and said to my daughter, you know, once it's restored, this car is going to be yours. And she was just so excited to sort of know that she's going to own a Ferrari. And then I took her to the garage where we were storing it and showed her the car, and you know, as you can imagine, bit of a rust bucket. You know, literally the outside looked like it, you know, needed to be redone again. And she looked at it and she almost cried, you know, because she just didn't see the potential of it. But anyhow, so the story that we have for you today is something similar to that, where a Bentley came to auction and it was expected to do rather well. It was a barn find. It was a car that had been in restoration in the garage for 30 years, being stored for 30 years. And the car itself was a 1936 Bentley 4.5 litre Vanden Plas Tourer, which is quite a rare car now anyways, you know, obviously pre-war. And the story around the car is that the second owner who purchased the car, his name was Charles Blackman. Charles was a World War II pilot who also took part in the Hitler's retreat raid, you know, during the Second World War. So there's a bit of an interesting story around him. He purchased this car in 1952 and he paid the princely sum of £260. He drove around in it for many years, and eventually it went into storage and has only recently come out of storage and has now been sold. So he paid £260 for it. That car just sold in its current rusty condition, completely unrestored, for £450,000. Yep, £450,000. So you know, I think that really surprised a lot of people, and it just kind of shows that, you know, authentic, genuine cars that have really good history behind them, you know, interesting ownership, and in a sort of unrestored state, are really achieving good prices at auctions. One of the interesting stories around this car also is actually that one of our automotive journalists, Steve, he wrote an article on the car. So we had an article written this week on the vehicle, and he actually knows the vehicle. So where he grew up, this car was driving around there all the time. So he actually saw the car as he was growing up. So as soon as he saw the detail of the vehicle, he said, "I know this car," you know. So it's actually you know, really interesting twist to the story there. Okay, second bit of news, and we're going to stick with Bentley on this one. So a lot of people know that Bentley is really well known for their sort of amazing, high quality, luxurious interiors, as well as the exteriors, but the interiors really are just so special, and that's what they're really known for. And then, you know, you have the Gulf market, which prior to oil, one of the things that they were heavily reliant on as an industry was pearl diving and pearl fishing, and you know, that's an industry that dates back about 7,000 years. So now we have a combination of both of those coming together, both of those industries coming together, and a special model being made for the Middle Eastern market. And this car has been given the full Mulliner treatment. And Mulliner, for those who don't know, it's a special division within Bentley, and their focus is really taking the standard road car and adding a whole load of sort of different extras to them, you know, customizing and things like that. So I believe if you want to order a car with a fridge, that would be a Mulliner edition. But then it's much more than that. It's things like the interior specifications, special wood treatments and things like that. The vehicle in question is actually the Bentayga, so this is what it's been sort of applied to. And, you know, as well as the exterior being done in you know, that glorious pearl whites that they do, the interior colours and all of that is all rather special as well. But what really makes this special is the mother of pearl inlays that have been added to the dash on the Bentayga. I mean, it really is beautiful. I mean, it's a lovely piece of work that they've done on that vehicle. And of course, the Bentayga is available with the Breitling clock, and the face to that clock is also finished in mother of pearl as well. So really nice touch to that vehicle. Over the years, there's been many stories about Ferraris catching fire, and this really started around the time of the F355, so that'll be about 95 onwards. And, you know, there's been so many stories, videos, pictures of, you know, Ferrari spontaneously catching fire, and you know, you know, people have always said that, you know, there's a problem with the fuel system and that needs to be addressed. And for whatever reason, you know, Ferrari always denied that this was an issue. It's not a problem that's just related to Ferraris, though, because recently we ran a story about a Lamborghini. I think it was an event. No, not an Aventador. But it was a Lamborghini. It may have been a Gallardo. Or a Huracan, which caught fire, and again we ran an article on that. So it's not just a Ferrari problem, it seems to be a problem that occurs with a lot of these high performance cars, you know, very hot engines, and you know. Ferrari have now announced that they've recalled a number of their different models, and what they said that the problem is fuel vapor separators, and that's essentially a device that prevents petrol fumes from escaping into the atmosphere. But the recall itself warns that some of these may be cracked and they might leak, which will then cause potential fires. So the models that have been impacted by this is the 488 GTB, the 488 Spider, the 488 Pista, the GTC4 Lusso, the Lusso T, the 812 Superfast, and the LaFerrari from 2017, which is pretty much their entire lineup, minus the Californias and the Portofino, so no issue there. But for the other ones, seem to be an issue. But that's not the only problem for Ferrari, because there's another issue that has also come up, which is just bizarre. I mean, I'd never heard of anything like this before. But for the US models, they have identified faulty door mechanisms, which presumably means you could be driving down the road and your doors will fly open or something like that. So, you know, there's more information on this on our website. So if you do own one of these vehicles, head over to our website. I'll add a link in the description down below to the article itself, and then you can just have a look at the more information that's there and see if your car is impacted, if you need to do anything. If your car is impacted, obviously contact Ferrari and get it booked in, get it checked out. There's been a lot of discussion recently about what's coming in the next vehicle from Rolls-Royce. So Rolls-Royce, as we know, they've recently launched the Phantom, they've launched the Cullinan, and the new Ghost will be launched soon as well. And there's been a lot of discussion about what will the new Ghost be like. Now, the original Ghost, the existing Ghost, was originally based on the BMW 7 Series, so it shared the platform with the BMW 7 Series. Now, that's not a bad thing. You might sort of think, oh, you know, you're buying a Rolls-Royce but you're getting a BMW. The 7 Series is a great car. It's a really good car, in fact, and the current 7 Series, or the new 7 Series, has just been released, and that's obviously taking it to a completely different level, both, you know, technologically, mechanically, and everything like that. And over the years, BMW have also become, you know, really leading in electric cars and hybrid cars as well. You know, and hybrid cars are available across their entire range, and there's strong indications that the replacements to the Ghost will also be available in some form of electric form itself. I mean, it does make sense because they are already making the 7 Series with that hybrid you know, capability. So, you know, for them, it's not developing an entirely new technology, it's actually piggybacking off the existing technology. But it's interesting what the CEO of Rolls-Royce recently said. He was speaking to the media and he said, let's put it this way, Rolls-Royce will produce its first full electric vehicle in the next decade, which isn't all that far away. We are working on it. There's still plenty to be done when it comes to charging infrastructure, both at home and in the public domain, before we have a workable solution for our customers. Now, Rolls-Royce customers are not the type of people who generally will park their car on the street. They will have a garage. They will easily be able to charge their vehicles at home. So it's likely that initially the Ghost will come out with a hybrid solution in place and then a full EV to follow later. Bentley already produce electric versions of their vehicles, so it's available in the Bentayga. I can't remember off the top of my head if it's available in the other models, but if it's not, it will be coming soon. And it's probably likely, I think, that the new Rolls-Royce Ghost, which will come in 2020, will also be available in a hybrid version initially, and then in a full electric version after that. and then that will really, I mean, at the moment with Rolls-Royces, you can barely hear the engine anyway. You've really got to push it hard to hear the engine. But in an EV, I mean, where you sort of eliminate that completely, it's really going to be quiet in that car. So that should be really interesting to see. So 2 weeks ago, we mentioned that at the Geneva Motor Show, Koenigsegg had released a new car. And when Koenigsegg do that, you really have to pay attention, because Koenigsegg is, you know, they've earned their place in the supercar industry. You know, they have built amazing cars. You know, performance has always been amazing. The design is great and everything like that. So when they launch a new car, you sort of sit up and you sort of pay attention. The new car was called the JESKO, and the story behind the name is that it's actually named in honor after the father of Christian. So Christian's father was JESKO. Christian Koenigsegg is the founder of Koenigsegg. But what made it special was that it was potentially going to be the first 300 mile per hour road vehicle, which we know from their achievements prior, and also what Bugatti have done over the years, how difficult an achievement that is. So for them to be able to produce a 300 mile per hour vehicle is a massive achievement, and this car can do that. In theory it can do that, so it'll be interesting to see if it does. But what this story is about is not just about the JESKO, but actually when they came to Geneva, they stated that it was going to be a limited production of 125 cars, and at that point in time 83 cars had been sold, you know, which was for like £3 million plus. So, you know, these weren't cheap cars. You know, obviously these are very sort of at the top end of the supercar spectrum. So, you know, 83 cars had already been sold. Now they've announced that all the cars have been sold, which is just amazing. You know, to have completely sold out of the entire run of cars, all 125. That is an amazing achievement for Koenigsegg, and something that you know, they can really be proud of. So Christian von Koenigsegg, the founder, he said just the other day, the new Koenigsegg JESKO is the highest volume production run we've ever planned. For it to have sold out within days of its unveiling is both humbling and a wonderful testament to the outstanding crew that we have at Koenigsegg. And I have to agree with him there, because, you know, what it means is that for Koenigsegg there's financial stability going forward, which I don't think that they've ever had a problem with, but it certainly helps, you know, to know that financially you're in a completely stable position, and you're producing a car that is obviously in high demand. It's you know, people want this vehicle, so it's you know, it's a great car. Twice a week we like to bring you an article which is called the DROOL articles, and it's basically because it's vehicles that you can drool over. And what we do is we look around the world, you know, look for vehicles that are available, you know, for sale, and we select, you know, one car on a Monday and one car on a Friday. The car that we chose on the Friday this week was a McLaren P1 GTR. Which is available for sale in the UK. Now this was a car that really caught our attention. I mean, obviously the exterior in black and yellow, you know, really sets it apart. It looks absolutely stunning, and you know, this is obviously it's the track version of the car, so it's got 83 horsepower more than the road car. So that takes it up to 986 horsepower, which is just nuts, just mental. In addition to that, it's 50 kg lighter, and you've got a huge spoiler at the back. You know, and all of this is designed, all of the aerodynamics, it was all designed to give 10% more downforce than the standard McLaren P1. This particular car has 230 kilometers on the clock, so it's practically new. I don't know how many miles it comes with out of the factory, but I can't imagine it's any much less than that. I don't think it's seen any track time, and it's available for a cool £2.8 million with taxes paid, which, frankly speaking, makes the Ferrari F40 seem like a bit of a bargain at around about £2 million. This is obviously faster, but you know, they're both great cars, right? But you know, absolutely amazing car, the P1 GTR. And yeah, if you want to check out more on the vehicle, just head over to the website. Links are down below. Everything that I've covered today is available on our website, through our articles on our website itself. All the links will be provided in the description below. Just to run through on some of the highlights of our content calendar. Saturday we come out with this video, which is Supercar News of the Week. On Monday we have our DROOL article, which looks at current models. On Thursday we have the studio car video, which comes out on YouTube as well. So we will be on Thursday releasing a video on the car that I'm currently in, which is the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. On Friday we have the podcast, which comes out, and that's available on iTunes, Google Play, or on our website. Also on Friday we have our second DROOL article, which looks at another vehicle. And in addition to all of that, we have daily articles which come out on the website. Typically we have 2 articles, sometimes we have 3. So check us out on SupercarTribe.com. Well, we love showing you around GVE in London in this beautiful Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. Next week we're in a different place, in a different car, but again with the latest stories. Subscribe and join the tribe.